Welcome back, everyone, to VALORANT Challengers North America. We just got the chance to watch Oxygen take that win 2-0 against Winthrop, but now it's time for that second match, and once again, Dry joined by Marks and Wyatt. And we have this match, which is M80 against Fluffy Aimers, and I'm very curious because I actually don't know what's gonna happen. Fluffy Aimers, Wyatt, have been looking great, and M80, they have this new addition of Net, and we're trying to find where they're gonna be standing for the matches that they have left.
Yeah, both teams making really exciting roster moves with Fluffy Aimers. I mean, they just did like a 2-for-2 swap with YFP. They did a little wipe swap, and both teams got way better, which is crazy. But, like, seriously, both teams have gotten so much better, and it's kind of wild. And then for M80, I'm really excited to see Net play. Frankly, I think they got a straight-up upgrade. Net is really good. I think he offers the team a lot of experience, a lot of calling. He was really vocal when he was playing with the guard previously. So I'm excited to see more of him with this M80 team. And
for Mark's M80, the way that M80 started in the second split, it wasn't the greatest. So I feel like Fluffy Aimers, they're just in time to see if they can get a win against M80 before they continue to get stronger and stronger. And this is a team that makes sense. If they find success today, if they find success in what is left of the split, I feel like they have so much potential to be one of those contender teams that nobody is expecting.
And you hit the nail on the head with that, Dryad, because this is a team that consistently you can feel them start to creep up all of the rankings. I mean, the solid gunplay that we're starting to see, and on top of that too, really going blow for blow against some of the topper teams in this whole thing. Fluffy Aimers has genuinely surprised me as these weeks have gone on, because I only see them getting better and better. And so, kind of like you said, I mean, this is going to be a pretty important match for them to really see if they can hang with the people who are at the top of Challengers.
And the way that I see Fluffy Aimers right now, it's kind of the way that I saw Winthrop in that first split, where it's the match that you think they're not going to win, they're going to win, and the other way around. So the first match that they had was against Winthrop. They lost that one, and then it was a Fluffy Aimers going against SAD Esports and going against TSM, and both of those matches recently they won. Obviously, that TSM one was a little bit harder to go on their side, but they ended up winning at the end. So on Fluffy Aimers, Wyatt, that is looking amazing, and I feel like the individual pieces are allowing this to happen. I feel like Pancakes has had such a good performance as that initiator. It's one of the only initiator players that we have right now that I consider are on the top 3 even.
Super good on the initiator, was playing controller for them in stage 1, just a litany of different agents, and has been able to find success on all of them with this team. But part of the reason that Fluffy Aimers have gotten so much better is because of these good role swaps that bringing in Jonah and Bones allowed them to make. His play on the initiator, fantastic. And then Mame as well has been finding a lot of success on the controller. So yeah, it's really nice to see them round things out and find themselves in a far more cohesive place than they did in stage 1.
And sometimes it's only about finding out what works inside of the team, right? Sometimes you see teams going outside, going for different players, going for different ideas, but it seems like Fluffy Aimers, as you're saying, why they're finding what just works out for them, and that is these small changes, these ideas as well inside of the maps that look so great, Marks. And now we get the chance to talk about M80 as well, which I feel like is a team that started so well, and I mentioned it so many times, they started so well towards the beginning of split 1, and now we don't really know where to place them. They've been struggling, honestly. They lost their first match against Oxygen, the second one against Blinn, which was the surprising one, and just last week they won against Core. So it's kind of a back and forth where is M80 back, and this might be the match to determine it.
I feel like there's so many question marks surrounding this team right now, because exactly like you laid out, M80, everyone's so high on them after how they finished the last season. This is the team that everyone was watching, and Split 1 really convinced us that was going to continue to be the case. And then they kind of were the meme where you put the stick in front of your own bike wheel and trip, where as Split 2 started, it felt not good for M80. But I think that last week, especially to going 2-0 against Core and honestly making it look kind of easy, that was a really big step in them gaining their confidence back, remembering some of the fundamentals that they really were so good at. And like Wyatt said earlier, acquiring Net, a huge upgrade. We just need to see them now all coalesce together. And I just want to highlight too, in some of these replays right now, like we're seeing a lot of different agents kind of coming out here, specifically on that Ascent map, where they had the Yoru and Deadlock composition. So they are trying out new things, and quite frankly, it's looking good.
It's looking good. The small ideas, and this is where I've seen why the most teams find success, is when they bring a little bit of these new ideas, the Deadlock, the Clove, but not too much, not going too far, as we've seen other teams try, maybe cook too much and it's just not working out. But I feel like for M80, at least when it comes to the different compositions, is just where it needs to be. Now they just need to have those convincing results, as they did for that match against Core.
Yeah, the two agents, the Deadlock and the Yoru, for this Ascent defense just really allowed them to play a dynamic style where the Deadlock can shut off part of the map. The Yoru gets the easy rotates back and forth with the gate crash, depending on where that attacking side is going to be finishing. And it was really cool to watch. This was in their game. This was Net just playing against Blinn, where they had that really close loss.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm kind of writing that game off a bit because it was the rarest of serious underperformances from Xander. That was the only time all season that has been the case. But that is the person I really want to focus on. He's coming in to replace Nitro. And Nitro was solid, no doubt, but it was always going to be a tough task integrating someone back into the game into your team. It had been years since he was competing on a top level with 100 Thieves, whereas now you have Net, who was just playing with G2 in partnership, was playing with the Guard for ages, has LAN experience. This guy has a lot to offer in that regard, and also when he was with the Guard, he was doing a ton of calling with that team, which I don't think a lot of people necessarily know. And that was a reason he was really highly valued kind of behind the scenes at the time as well. And so I think bringing him in with his ability to, bring that to the team with the experience of someone who's been consistently competing in Valorant is going to be huge for them.
And this is something that M80 really need. We've seen the frustration on social media when they lost those first two matches of the split. You could tell that they were really disappointed in themselves. They knew that they needed some change. They knew they needed like a fresh air, and that's what Net has been bringing and is hoping to continue to bring for M80, to bring them back to being that team that everybody puts in that number one, that everybody puts even winning Ascension all the way towards the end of the year. But for that, we need to take it step by step. So let's jump to the map select for the series between M80 and Fluffy Gamers. Let's see where we're going to be headed. And we got Sunset, Lotus, and Ascent Marks.
Okay, the Sunset pick, I want to focus in on that first, because straight up, Fluffy Aimers coming into this, they beat TSM on it last week, I believe 13-1. So I'm imagining they're still kind of riding that high, and they're feeling really confident here in their Sunset play. M80, on the other hand, they haven't looked very consistent when it comes to this map, and so I'm wondering how things are going to kind of shake out for them. To be completely honest with you, if I was M80, I think Sunset would have been one of the maps to ban, just understanding how well Fluffy Aimers are on this map.
It's just one of the things that you think maybe they have a game plan around what they got the chance to see. But as you were saying, Fluffy Aimers, it was a 13-1 win against TSM. It's a pretty quick VOD to review, if anything. And Wyatt, for the other two maps, I feel like this is going to go the distance. We might go all the way to Ascent, which we just talked about it. We talked about the Yoru, we talked about the Deadlock, and I feel like that's on the table today.
It's definitely possible. Could definitely see a world where each team wins their map pick. M80 have been consistently playing Lotus a ton over the entire course of this year to a lot of success. They've only lost it a couple times, and that was only to Turtle Troop and Oxygen, our undefeated teams right now. Yeah. And M80, they've been up and down. They've been trying to find their footing. So that's their home map. It's where Nismo gets to play Raze and really pop off as an individual. Ascent, I'm really excited for if we do get there, just to see more of that Yoru Deadlock comp that they have, brought in as their own unique look for the map.
And I want to bring another factor as well, and is that Fluffy Aimers, pretty much every single one of the maps that they've won, except for one, they've been able to close out in where the enemy gets less than 10 rounds. So they have a little bit more of those convincing wins. Now, when you look at the other side, M80, it's been quite the opposite. Those maps that they've lost, when they've lost against Oxygen and when they lost against Blend, which are some of the maps that we're going to be seeing today, it was so close. It was overtimes. It was 11-13 in a bunch of them. Actually, 3 of the 4 maps that they lost 11-13. So it's been just slipping through their fingers, and I wonder what is it going to take, Marks, for them to turn this one around, because M80, they're so good. We've seen them since last year, this core of M80 that has been incredibly consistent, but with the Fluffy Aimers that has had the time to study and that is making so much progress, I don't know, and it can honestly go either way.
See, this is one of those hard questions that you're posing here, Diane, because listen,
I throw every single one at you, by the way. I don't know if you noticed.
I'm pulling out these names out of a hat. I'm just hoping that one of these predictions is going to be correct here. But that's one of the biggest things that I think Fluffy Aimers will have the advantage for. I've done a lot of school in my day, and being an academic, studying up on your team, I think that there is a lot to pull out of there. And so that's kind of why I'm hoping that we do get to see that map 3, because I think that's where we will really get to see the impact of Fluffy Aimers doing preparation for this map, because like we've been talking about, it's an unconventional composition that M80 are most likely going to be bringing out on Ascent. But on the other hand, I do genuinely believe that M80, they've had now enough time to really just solidify themselves, shake off the mental damage or anything like that from the previous matches. Like you said, able to take it the distance every single time. And so to me, that says that they've got a lot of mental resiliency. And the longer they play together, for me, that means that we're going to see M80 start to rise back up to that expectation that we had for them at the start of the split.
See, this is why I ask you the hard questions, because you give me really good answers. I feel like I need to just keep doing it. Every time we just get a more difficult question, and in the meantime, Wyatt is just chilling on the side. It's all good, but the teams are getting ready. We're almost there. We're almost about to jump into the map. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with a match.
Welcome back, everybody. We are now loading in to map number 1 of M80 versus Fluffy Aimers. And Wyatt, what do you make out of this Agent Select? Pretty stock standard, if you ask me.
Yeah, I'm snoozing. After the last game, I'm ready to fall asleep at these comps. Where's the ISO? Where's the neon? Boring, but that's fine. M80 are just playing the pretty standard meta comp right now. Fluffy Aimers playing almost that Sans Gecko for the Sky, like it's late 2023. Though you know what? I will not critique them. They absolutely owned TSM on this map 13-1 with this comp just last week. So I'm excited to see what they can do with it here against M80. One of the favorites heading into this year for partners to win Ascension, and make it 2 partnership.
Yeah, and kind of like we were talking before we loaded into this map, it really does feel like all eyes are on M80 right now, especially with the signing of Net. It's starting to work out a little bit, but they really start to have to pull things together, while Fluffy Aimers, this team that no one really had super high expectations for, so far in Split 2 have honestly been impressing everybody.
And it's since those roster changes, since bringing in Jonah and Bones from YFP, they've been the recipe to success, allowing them to make a couple role swaps that have really paid off. Mummy moving over to the controller, Pancakes to that initiator role, and both have thrived respectively.
Now Fluffy Aimers just doing their due diligence to make sure that they've got mid control under lock. Of course, M80 are starting to get that rotate, but they don't have any information to really track whether or not someone's going to pass through mid into their spawn.
That right now, playing in front of those tripwires, focused on B main. Market now being smoked off, so he doesn't have to worry about being shot in the back.
Trap play
Push
ready.
is going to come. Yeah, but focus from Fluffy Gamers coming through Market.
Excellent guiding light. It's going to at least push Xander away. Fluffy Aimers will now storm the site. Trapwire are going to be going off, more or less just confirming what is going on here. We are in this 5v5 retake situation. M80 already in position, just waiting out some of this utility before they start it. But already the Mosh going to be tossed in, as well as the Aftershock, just try and clear out some of the area. Mummy and Bones, actually Bones finding 3 in the midst of all of that chaos thanks to a little bit of utility. Net still able to keep this one alive, but eventually will go down. Bones with a 4K to start off this match.
Doing a great job, our Fluffy Aimers, of just putting their focus onto that smoke in Market, where 3 M80 players were trying to get out. They were trying to apply some pressure so their 2 players in B main could swing out, fight at the same time, try and pinch some of those players on site. I actually really liked the positioning from M80 there. I liked that Net and Xander got into B main. But ultimately, Fluffy Aimers did such a great job of shutting that retake down that the positioning just didn't even matter.
Yeah, this time M80 really stacking things up on mid. It is going to be a smoke to really deter them from moving forwards there, as it does feel like Fluffy Aimers want to take the push onto A. Such a classic setup right now with the fault line just going through, able to clear that right side of A site, but nobody going to be home, so Fluffy Aimers should have no problem taking that space.
It made it look like they're just so ready to explode in mid if a player made any noise to contact Market, but it's not going to happen. Clean shot from Jonas. The rest of these Fluffy Aimers players just contact into the A site.
Okay, Bones, ready for Nismo. The one way now finally getting set up, but it's already a little bit too late. They're actually going to give the spike to Bones to try and get the Showstopper just a bit closer to being online. Jonah about to take the Cypher dual. Net looking the wrong way. Dizzy going to get quite a bit of value, but Neptune on the other side is ready to punish it. And yeah, they're all going to be swinging out and immediately just swept off the board. M80 collapses. Fluffy Aimers win that second flawlessly.
That is so dominant. The most cash Fluffy Aimers lost there was from Neptune having to rebuy an armor. No one else even going below 25 on it, I believe. So they're going to have a pure bonus here and an opportunity to really get the snowball going. Bones right now, only 2 off that Showstopper, closest in the server to an ultimate by far.
As he goes up just to try and get a little bit of information, but Fluffy Aimers actually have the protocols ready. It's going to be the stun coming through, but Xander throws out a paranoia, pushing everybody back off that one way, as M80 refused to yield any of that space just in a lobby. Doesn't matter though, Fluffy Aimers take that mid presence right now, and it feels like they are getting ready to go into this market push.
And in the meantime, Pancakes just re-clearing B main, getting the information there while the rest go through KoalaNoob.
It's so much utility. KoalaNoob able to get one, but look at that. It's going to be the dog taking a bite out of him, as Neptune is able to find one as well. The entry is going to be good from Fluffy Aimers. They go back onto their first strategy on that first round, and it works out perfectly. Now M80, 3v4. They have the utility to do so. Quite a bit still available as they poise up, getting ready to slowly make their way in. BCJ, Xander, make their way into market. Cypher camera just on the other side will at least tag out Xander. The time is already ticking down. Fluffy Aimers stack themselves outside of B. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of utility getting tossed in there, but everything should work out well for Fluffy Aimers. A lot of stall utility coming in. And yeah, it doesn't feel like there's an opportunity for M80 to even stick their foot in the door, so they will be running off and saving their rifles into the next round.
Now, Xander not using his smokes either to actually get that one way up in B main, or even the one to just put in front of it so they can try and get some space there. Pancake's going to go down chasing for kills, but chasing for kills because he has so much damn money, it doesn't matter. And now a pure bonus converted for Fluffy Aimers. They didn't lose a single player on the round prior. And look at the state of their economy already. Bones is actually going to pick up an operator on the attack side here as well.
Meanwhile, Net only going to have a Stinger here. We've seen the Stinger do disgusting things, but with the momentum that Fluffy Aimers feel like they've accumulated, I don't know if we're going to be seeing as much value. KoalaNoob this time poking and prodding up mid, and I think this is very important for them to seize if they want to put a wrench into Fluffy Aimers' strategy.
I'm looking to see where they try to position this operator as well in the hands of Bones. Just holding these passive angles towards mid. They are expecting some aggression, and they have the right read. The timing here could be everything.
Surely KoalaNoob must have an idea. Well, speaking of timing, we'll be able to find one, but oh no, they're not able to convert off of that one. It is going to be a lot of utility coming out here for KoalaNoob to try and secure that kill, but they're simply unable to. Xander, meanwhile, moves up, but Pancakes is able to find that kill, and finally Koala goes down. Fluffy Aimers, they just dig their heels into the ground, wait for M80 to send their members in, and they just shoot them down. Now with the one-person advantage as they decide what to do next.
This camera is so tough for the attackers to deal with. Pancakes just finds the angle to destroy it. Starving Net of information in mid, unaware that Fluffy Aimers are actually posted up to pressure. He's going to have to fall back because of that dog, and he's not going to really be able to take range fights here with just that Stinger in hand.
Yeah, Net has to be so careful. The time is really starting to go down here. They have to get that spike over. And yeah, they should be able to do so. Not able to actually find one. We'll get the weapon upgrade as finally Neptune gets that spike down. But keep an eye on mid. Mame could actually potentially flank here. Decides actually just smoke things down and then continue to hold mid while M80 group themselves up. And this should be a coordinated push.
Spike planted in an interesting spot here. Mummy, the pivotal player. Oh, wow, what a 2K.
Oh, and then on top of that, too, distracts Nismo from that final swing from Neptune. And yeah, that positioning in mid right now for Fluffy Aimers has really been saving them in so many of these rounds.
Early just domination here from Fluffy Aimers, forcing M80 into the timeout. They've only gotten 6 kills so far across the entire team. In that last round, Fluffy Aimers brought the operator in. Their economy is so good already, and it paid off. They were able to shut down M80's attempt to push down mid, support KoalaNoob when he got that first kill in tiles. And it just baited them right into that scoped weapon. Fluffy Aimers are playing just so well so far. Really impressive from them.
And even when you take a look at all of these cameras, like, You see smiles come out from Fluffy Aimers. I mean, we saw them 13-1 TSM last week. And quite frankly, if they keep on this trajectory, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a scoreline that is very similar. Once again, a little surprised that M80 allowed Sunset to go through, given how comfortable Fluffy Aimers are. But, well, we're here now, and it's going to be a nice, good old buy-up from Fluffy Aimers. Well, M80, they're scratching the bottom of the barrel to try and scrape together their money for the next round.
Yeah, M80 have only actually played Sunset 3 times this year, which is pretty crazy because teams have definitely been leaning into this map. It's got to be on the higher end of just maps being frequently played. And of those 3 games, they've only won it 1 time against Winthrop, a loss to Oxygen, a loss to TSM. It's looking like it might just be their 3rd loss here, honestly. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Of course, it's early days, but Fluffy Aimers are just at such an advantage. They can buy up for so many rounds in a row, even if they start losing so many rounds in a row.
And why this is interesting. Right now, we're seeing M80. They quadruple stacked the top of mid there. Nobody from Fluffy Aimers taking space this time. And as a result of that, it's going to be the site open. At this point, M80 are aware after hearing a single bullet of what happened, and they slowly make their way over, but this operator from Home could be dangerous. Okay, a little bit of a spray through the smoke will do pretty good justice there. But still, Pancakes gonna find the first pick onto Kuala Noob. Amidst the gunfight, BCJ wide open. Neptune able to find that as well. And Pancakes isn't done quite just yet. Trailblazer flies into the back line, at least scouts out Xander. Just finally, this spike goes down, but it doesn't matter. Fluffy Aimers, they're just running it right into their enemies here. Nismo can't even find a single thing. I think that was a judge in hand as Fluffy Aimers find their 5th in a row.
2 times now, Fluffy Aimers on an anti-eco have not lost a single player. And it's why their economy is looking like it is. 7K, 7K, 6K, 4K, 7K. I mean, they can buy up forever. They're snowballing into ultimates. And funny enough, both their anti-ecos played out the exact same way. M80 are setting up a trap play top mid, and Fluffy Aimers just contact into A and win the easiest rounds.
Truly the struggle of the proletariat right now for M80. As Bones pops that showstopper, goes around the corner, but Xander actually able to secure the kill before being exploded by the giant rocket. And now, Fluffy Aimers start to make their way through. The Seekers are going to get activated here. Just a trap out front, but at this point, you know what exactly is happening as M80 just completely yield the site, allowing that spike to get planted.
It's going to be planted directly for B main, where 3 players are gathered up. Koala Noob. Investment into the operator doesn't pay off.
Net goes down as well. Jonah just absolutely on fire. Finds 3 before finally going down, but Mame with an operator on the other side will win the round. Fluffy Aimers are on fire.
They were a team that in stage 1, watching them, you could see that they had good team play. The fundamentals were solid. Despite them just coming together as a team right before their first game, they had this natural chemistry, but they were lacking firepower. Bringing in Jonah and Bones has added that much-needed element to their game. And in moments like that, you can just see how much it's paid off for them.
M80 still struggling to find a solution here. We're going to be flying down. Neptune getting ready to do the trap again on A elbow. Noob just on the other side. Does have a showstopper available, though, so if the flood does come through, we'll have something to potentially deter. Pancakes has that guiding light ready. Going to be utilizing that. Should get the information, deciding to back off of it. Trap play will not be activated this time. As M80, they start to rotate here through mid. Jonah gets a lot of information, but I'm not sure that they're aware. Oh, no. It's all going wrong right now for M80. They get the space, but BCJ falls down in the middle of a spray. And now Fluffy Aimers are just waiting for the aggression to come through from M80.
They've slowed things down so much, and it's worked perfectly for them. Expecting a player could be pushed down that deep. They were right, and Xander gets punished hard.
Yeah, now that neural theft gives up all the information. Kuala Noob alone onto the site. Bones goes for it, but oh, Showstopper comes out in response, doesn't find anybody in the midst of all of that, and now pressured with the fault line as well. But it doesn't matter because actually Fluffy Aimers, they decide to take their talents over to that B site. We'll be walking through market. We'll get scouted out by Net's utility here, but should be able to move through. Net might be able to get one, does find that first pick, dropping the spike, but the timer means that Fluffy Aimers have to make their way onto site.
With that operator, playing with Bones, it's a really good stun from Nismo. Can Koala Noob capitalize? He gets that
Spray
first, evens things up.
Gonna be absolutely clean. Mame now looking for it, shuts Koala Noob down. Sees him for a second, that's all that's needed. Now it's a 3v2 here. As Net and Nismo need to move through. If Nismo gets one more, we'll also have the Rolling Thunder online. Flashpoint gets utilized first. Mame holding such a tight angle. Doesn't quite find it. Nismo does get traded though. That option is taken off the board, and yeah, it's a swing around from Neptune. Fluffy Aimers so dynamic, moving themselves around, and now 7 in a row.
Yeah, you said it. Dynamic in that post plant. The positioning was beautiful. What a lovely round from them top to bottom. Waiting out that aggression bottom mid, faking towards A, 20 seconds left. They get into B, and then that setup. Mummy, and who was that? Jonah in B main. They double swing to fight when the spike is tapped. Gives time for Neptune to flank market. It's just all perfect from them on that round. You can clearly see why they're up 7-0. Absolute dominance from them right now.
And they're just so aware. Like, you can see all these little plays that Fluffy Aimers are kind of utilizing, whether or not it is playing slow, these trap plays that they set up in order to kind of take out individual members of M80, and just the shakiness that it feels like M80 are playing with. Fluffy Aimers have been able to take advantage of that doubt, and quite frankly, these have been really clean rounds for Fluffy Aimers.
And now they're just silently contacting up mid. They break that cam pretty early into the round. Cage gonna go down to allow them a safe passage here into top mid where Nismo's lying in wait.
Nismo's able to find one at least. Neptune now aware, will get caught in the fault line, but should be able to back off, okay? Aftershock as well, just to deter as Xander stands their ground. Oh no! Turns away at the last second here. Should give a lot of information, especially too with that, but they're not expecting Net on the other side. Bones getting caught off guard. As meanwhile, BCJ holding down mid, looking for it, but Neptune just finds a timing. Is able to find that kill. Now they're going to be storming in onto the site. Only Koala Noob anchoring here, hiding behind the back of it. And yeah, Fluffy Aimers, they might be aware of what's going on. They might not have the utility to do so, but that's an excellent Rolling Thunder, pushing them right into the crosshairs of Koala Noob. And now it's all up to Jonah. It was looking so clean, but not going to be this time around. It finally happens. M80 get there first.
Great round there from Nismo.
Don't worry.
Shuts down that contact push initially from Fluffy Aimers when they were going all the way up mid. He had that crouched angle, gets the first, falls off, and then into the Rolling Thunder that connects with all three players. A little stun at the end too. Stepping up to get M80 their first on the board here. See if they can make anything more of it, or if they're just going to get shut down on the following round and send a couple of their players back into a dire economic situation.
Koala Noob spots it out, but has to abort, actually. A little bit of pressure going through, and now M80, they swap up their defensive positioning a little bit. So we're going to be seeing Net move over to A site this time instead. And that could trip things up for Fluffy Aimers a little bit. Once again, it's that hesitancy that we're seeing, that patience from this team.
Yeah, and if Fluffy Aimers were taking a fight here, look at this setup. There was a paranoia and a stun ready for Mame and Neptune. They don't end up taking the fight. They're able to just get the space for free. They've been able to contact here on A quite a bit. But M80 knowing that, they're set up. High-low, facing into elbow.
A moment's notice. Things could work out perfectly. The smoke going to be coming in. The spray happens, but the up-down is simply just not enough. Yeah, utility going to be coming through as well as Net just immediately gets overpowered. Bones satcheling right into their face. Pancake's now using the Trailblazer to at least get out the back. Doesn't necessarily get a kill, but a lot of damage inflicted onto Koala Noob in the middle of that. M80 will be able to retake this 4v5.
Some good post-plant positions here too. Neptune and Jonah able to play off of each other. The thrash could be big though. Doesn't get a connection.
Paranoia is going to be good. Koala Noob doesn't find anything. So much utility being tossed out. Neptune in the middle of the Aftershock isn't aware of it. And now BCJ cleans up another, but Mame with the run and gun will win, and Bones finds Xander as well, just in case. Pancakes was on the other side, but Fluffy Aimers completely shut down M80.
They look so well drilled in these post plants. That setup on A was fantastic. They had Jonah and Neptune ready to play off of each other on the link side, with Jonah taking contact, jiggling from A main, while Neptune, played tucked, crouched. And then over on the spawn side, you had Bones playing top on the box with Pancake swinging from elbow. I mean, they're just set up wonderfully. This team just look so much improved from where they were at stage 1.
Walla back with the operator. Wants to make this one work. Just around, not one way. While Neptune, that could be deadly. But appears no swing is going to be happening. Fluffy Aimers still playing very slowly, but this time opting to push a little bit more on mid. Walla might find a timing here as the boombot gets utilized, but smoked off, will have to retreat.
All these utility pieces are just being placed at the perfect time. The boombot clears left, the smoke goes up right, and it allows Bones to get inserted here deep on A. Fight against net! Bested him in the previous round. Just makes some noise and falls off. Look at the rotates that he's drawn, though.
Oh, BCJ finds that first one, finds a second. A little bit of a redemption arc, finds a third as well. Yeah, the fault line will slow down Neptune. The spike in such a hard position. But Xander now hanging out on top like a gargoyle, waiting for someone to potentially push through market, but this one is going to be very tough for Fluffy Aimers to recover.
See, maybe Bones can get this first. He does still. It's going to be a 2v4. Trips to deal with and surrounded on all sides. Surely Fluffy Aimers don't recover this.
Oh, Neptune finds net as well. Spike will be able to go down here. A little bit of a trade, allows Bones to get the showstopper online. The Aftershock and Flashpoint now getting utilized as the flood comes through, but the fault line from Neptune will be good. Bones pops the showstopper, looking for an opportunity, launches the rocket, finds Xander. BCJ trades back. BCJ now in ace territory. Needs to find this final kill onto Neptune. Does have the support of Nismo as well. The Mosh going to be flushing him out of the back there, and they line up. Neptune with the 2-tap, shuts it down. Fluffy Aimers, they get 9.
Absolute disaster for M80, and that's gotta be the nail in the coffin on this map. BCJ opens it up with 3 here, just straight 1v1s. These swings from Fluffy Aimers, the first time in the game where they've really made a significant mistake. The fundamentals there totally off. BCJ takes full advantage of it. 4 in the round, and they lose a 2 versus 5. At this point, how can you get back into this game, not just in terms of the gameplay itself, but mentally for M80?
At this point, it might be even beyond mentally. I feel like almost emotionally, too. That one was such a heartbreaker for M80 to deal with, and they're still trying. I did call this squad resilient in the pre-show, and they really have to showcase that if they want a chance at pulling things back on Sunset.
4 sheriffs for them right now. BCJ at least got that thrash as an option, getting all those kills in the previous round. The smallest of consolation prizes.
Yeah, it was a simple tap and go for Fluffy Aimers. BCJ does spot out Jonah here, but you do expect to see the Cypher lurking. Let's see if that's enough to really call M80 over. Well, once again, Pancakes takes positioning in mid, ready to potentially push any over-aggression from M80 that we have seen, while Fluffy Aimers, they're running amok in the back lines.
Their map control game is so
30
strong.
seconds left.
They've been controlling elbow with ease, taking mid when they need to. Absolute dominance over the map.
A little bit of a trap play here for M80. Pancakes coming in from the side, is able to find one. Dizzy will make that a little bit more difficult, but time now counting down. Fluffy Aimers have to make their way in right now, and they have to get that spike down. Time goes down. It's going to be a detain, and yeah, M80. They run down the clock, and now Mame, the last person alive, They hold their ground with their utility, and Fluffy Aimers lose that one.
And finally able to get one with Fluffy Aimers just picking the wrong site to hit, not getting the proper information, and they run straight into that stack. The Thrash ending up being very significant from BCJ, so that small consolation prize of getting it from all the kills in the previous round did end up paying off. Still, the only 2 right now on defense.
Come on, little homies.
The hill they have to climb up is Mount Everest sized right now.
Fault line this time being used defensively potentially as this trap play is Xander getting so close. Knows where the guiding light likes to push. Will redo that one way. While Fluffy Aimers, they just really stand their ground again.
Not something Xander done previously. Koala Noob! Third round he has the op, and the first one where he really gets some impact.
That also, too, gets that showstopper available for Koala Noob to use. Fluffy Aimers are moving up now onto A. This time, Net will not be here to scout this out, but Xander, holding ground, has another smoke available, thanks to that reset, but the utility should be coming out from Fluffy Aimers here to really re-clear this, and yeah, Trailblazer gonna happen. Nismo now tosses things in just to stall things out as Koala Noob ain't quite done yet. Showstopper gets activated, launched into the back, finds that third, launches the paint shells as well, not able to capitalize on it, misses a shot, so Mummy able to get that one. But the spike is in this weird position, and with the push coming out just the way around, this is going to be so hard for Fluffy Aimers to do anything. Walking through the smoke now, Nismo just on the other side. Neptune looking the right way and finds both of their heads. So M80, they do get this to a 3-9 half.
Maybe the smallest amount of momentum coming from that as well. Just in regard to individual players having some moments where they can kind of start to feel themselves a bit. Koala Noob, for the first time in this game, having some significant impact. For the first time with the op having some significant impact. So at least able to round out that half, getting 2 rounds in a row. And now we're going to see if they can at all capitalize off that with a must-win pistol round for them.
And it's really interesting because I feel like we do have to talk a little bit about that Sky being brought in here instead of the Gecko. I think that these flashes that we've been seeing from Pancakes have been very effective, and we're seeing that they've got so much additional utility, really just to kind of scout out some of those corners. It shouldn't work as well as it is, but Fluffy Aimers with that Sky have looked really darn good.
Yeah, absolutely. Was really hoping to see some more proactive play with the Breach and the Gecko on the defensive side from M80. It was mostly passive trap plays. They never really fought forward for space. Fluffy Aimers dominated the map control game. Gonna look to see if they can do the same here. But M80, they're gathering up in B main now, so pressure is gonna be on Jonah, the anchor of the site.
Have at least one cage ready to go as a one-way. Go the side just to opt out. Koala Noob actually spotted out exactly where that was going, and yeah, BCJ ready for that just in case. Now Wingman gonna get the spike down. Dizzy will get reacquired as the flood from Fluffy Aimers comes back around. Smoke dissipating already in market, so they know exactly where they are going to be hiding out here. The Trailblazer goes in just to clear out the site yet again from Pancakes. Know exactly where your opponent is. As Net goes around for this flank, and this could be crucial. Finally, the flood comes through. Smoke is going to be up. Wingman gets sent in again. Clap is going to go off here as Bones floods through. It isn't going to happen as well, but yeah, it's going to be the nice little right click from Koala Noob to take out one, left click for the other. Right now, though, someone's sticking the spike. Doesn't matter. The flank from Net is going to be good as well. And, sorry. M80 do win that round?
No, M80 lost. It was just, listen, it's all right to be confused because for some reason the game did not show the diffuse bar. So I was a little confused for a second as well. But yeah, Fluffy Aimers won that. They just stuck the spike. No one got the spam kill. That is a tragedy. This map should simply be over. Bones is picking up the outlaw here. M80 are going to force it. Simply a must-force round for them. I mean, they got the spike down. They're down 10-3. You have to bring this back right now.
Noob with an outlaw right now. Might be on the other side of Bones. Wins that. A little bit of a quick scope. At least able to find that first kill. You see Fluffy Aimers are moving all over the place, just trying to get a little bit more ground, but M80, they've found their first chance at winning this round.
Yeah, Net's investment of buying the Outlaw, giving it to Koala Noob, and sacrificing any decent weaponry for himself, it pays off, at least with that first kill.
Rotations are coming around, as Mame is going to be taking sight here. Or space, I should say. Xander on the other side. Not sure if they're aware of this omen, but Stinger always wins that, especially in that close range. Neptune, meanwhile, spots out one. Fault line going to be good. Can't quite find BCJ. Will in the end, but immediately traded back. As now Koala Noob spots out Jonah running through things as well. Spike has been recovered. Are you kidding me? Through the smoke, finds the headshot onto Nismo. And is going to back out of there, make this a little bit more evened out. Fluffy Aimers do have a little bit more room to work with, and the overgrowth makes sure Jonah's ready to brawl again.
And maybe they're trying to flip the site here.
Guiding light. Nice and early. Xander, though, completely not spotted out. Will be able to finally get that. Jonah, a 1v3 scenario. He's going to push in, and excellent timing with that paranoia from Xander. Now uses the shadow step to reposition himself. Tosses down a smoke. Still going to be taking the opportunity. Net going for a little bit of a spray here, but caught with another weapon out. Doesn't matter. Koala Noob is good for it with that sniper rifle. M80 find their fourth.
And they're going to recover from that tragic pistol round loss with a force round win, investing it all really in Koala Noob. It was Net that tossed him that outlaw so he could buy up the heavy armor as well. It didn't end up mattering, but if Bones hit him with the shot with his outlaw, Koala Noob still would have won that fight just because of the armor difference. So Fluffy Aimers, they're relegated now to the Eco. They're going to have two sheriffs here in the hands of Pancakes and Neptune. Pancakes might have an opportunity to get a kill with it.
Whoop! Pancakes actually finds Koala Noob first, just a sheriff in hand. No fancy scope necessary on that thing. And M80, not exactly how you wanted this round to start out. Fluffy Aimers as well, applying pressure out mid, so we'll force Xander away. Net has taken a lot of space, but we'll have to back off thanks to that spy dart cam. And M80, they slow things down. The spike is still in their possession. Fluffy Aimers, it's been a little bit of a truck rotate. They're just kind of going around all over the place, making sure to cover all of the ground and really just show presence everywhere.
Yeah, comfortable risking a big rotate as well, given they have the bad weaponry and have to take a bit of a gamble, a bit of a chance to still turn the round on its head despite having that man advantage.
Engagement coming through. Pancakes does get spotted out. One more guiding light available. Bit of spray through, try and cancel things out. Bones just trying to escape right now, but Nismo walking through. Nismo able to find two. Xander finds another. Pancake's still in the back here. And yeah, it's just going to be a cleanup from M80. Get that spike down and slowly climb their way back up.
A little bit scary. Fluffy Aimers had the full rotate there. It was 4 players heading into 5, but at the end of the day, those Vandals are always going to win out against the Classics and the Sheriffs, at least the majority of the time. M80 finally getting some footing into this game. It looked like they didn't even stand a chance. I was expecting to see the same score line as Fluffy Aimers against TSM when they beat them 13-1 just the other week. Not going to be the case today.
All right, this is creative. 4 people on B. Full weapons, by the way. So I think right now Fluffy Aimers expecting that aggression from M80. But actually on the other side, M80 ready for it as well. All rifles pointing forwards, expecting someone from Fluffy Aimers to go. Stalemate, Pancakes gets caught in a stun. Barely escapes with their life. 32 HP. A lot of damage, but at least able to flush out a little bit of that utility. And the call gets made. M80 start to rotate over to A.
A dog just re-cleared all of B main. So Fluffy Aimers should be rotating off this. They're trying to re-clear B main now actually on the opposite side of the map. but they're just going to halt their Fluffy Aimers. So it looks like M80 should be getting this site entirely for free, setting us up for this full 5-on-5 retake, where BCJ is the one player with an ultimate. Thrash to clear the site, not going to see anyone. Going to bring it on back to him and have it for the fight later.
And honestly, I have to wonder whether or not this is part of the strategy from Fluffy Aimers. We've seen them be really good on attack, and so I wonder if they've got these retake protocols down. They're all regrouping now. Paincake's a little bit worse for wear. Better weaponry definitely available. Thrash gonna get tossed out now. The aftershock gets utilized, but Thrash able to get a couple from the back line there. Slowing things down for a second, while Neptune just kind of poking around the corner. Now they are going to be engaging onto the site. Bones able to find 3. Unbelievable stuff. Neptune on the flank, at least able to... Or sorry, Net catching Neptune on the flank there, but Bones simply cannot be stopped. Ace territory needs one more against Net. Looking for it, will do just that. Fluffy Aimers win the round with the ace coming through from Bones.
How did 3 players from M80 end up in the same spot, I think? What just happened? I need to see that on the replay. I mean, Xander was up top. I think he got stunned and flashed and pushed down. And I saw that there was a little bit earlier, there was like the breach flash that came in with the guiding light at the same time. What was this? Yeah, they were just all flashed up. All the players tried to retreat into that one little corner. It made it all too easy for Bones. Didn't need a, doesn't really need to be a pro to get a 3K there. I think you could find your local silver 1 to be able to get that 3K as well. That was just way too easy for him.
Well, at least, M80, one would argue that they're on the same page, at least about where they want to retreat to. This is really not looking good for M80 right now, and so we see them take this time out to try and figure out what is going on, but Fluffy Aimers have just been so dominant so far on Sunset, Wyatt.
You mentioned them you mentioned your expectation for them to have some solid retake protocol there, given how good they were in the post plants on the attack half, and your expectation was definitely correct. I mean, they had that great first cycle of utility. The Thrash comes out, and then after the Thrash, they have that next cycle with Bones double satcheling in, the paranoia, the stun. That was just really well set up from them. Looking so cohesive in these big post-plant moments.
And that's the thing too, like, especially with how that original skirmish happened out front, you didn't see Fluffy Aimers really use any of their utility. It felt like they were holding on to it, and that's why they were more than happy to yield the site. Only if they saw M80 rush into them were they going to let some of that utility rip. But this time, Bones going in deep. Showstopper is available. Trying to go for a potential trap play just outside of A, but M80 half funneled themselves onto B, and it's a fast execute this time. Tilde gets tossed out. Neptune using a flashpoint just to potentially stall things out for a second. Bones just on the other side now has a showstopper. Gonna just let it go and somehow still finds VCJ. Middle of all of that, Colin who gonna trade it back, doesn't even get an opportunity. Xander though, becoming a hero for this squad as Pancakes uses the paranoia, and it's excellent, but it's just trade for trade all the way down to a 1v1. Seekers now get let go. Information given as well. This is so back and forth. Both players aware of where the other one is. Pancakes versus Net. Both of them did take a little bit of Vandal damage on the other side of it, but the advantage for Pancakes. Understanding that Net does have to go for this plant. Net swings out and Pancakes wins that. Mental damage inflicted. Fluffy Aimers ready to close out map number 1.
They were so fast on the flood there. M80 did a nice job of shutting that down, at least temporarily. That was such a good showstopper from Bones to start things off. Didn't think it was going to be as close as it actually ended up being. So credit to the M80 players for hitting some nice shots there, but Pancakes, who has really been the standout, frankly, for Fluffy Aimers. We highlighted him on the desk earlier, able to win out that 1v1 clutch. Put his team in position to finish this game on Sunset, win out their map pick in dominant fashion.
Dizzy scouted. This time M80, it looks like the protocol is to apply a little bit more middle pressure, or at least deny that from Fluffy Aimers at the start. And now they all group up yet again, ready to run the gauntlet back into Pancakes, just on the other side, but that fault line could be devastating. Dizzy gets tossed out. Fault line still lined up here. But more than enough time for Pancakes to be able to escape here and re-engage. Koala Noob looking the wrong way here. Not able to really secure a kill one way or another. But Jonah, thankfully, just around the corner for Pancakes to fall back into. And M80 already lose one on the entry.
That's so nice. Pancakes just baits Koala Noob into that swing, and Jonah is ready there for the double face, and then they fall off into a crossfire.
Ooh, it's dicey at best. A trade happens inside the smoke. Also, too, with paranoia, make sure that nobody really knows exactly what was going to happen. Left click and swing that mouse around as Jonah looking to use the neural theft, but can't quite find a body. So finally, Plant comes through. Fluffy Aimers take this 4v3. Already wrapping around, and the neural theft now gets activated. Spot the position of where these players are. Bones aware that Nismo's just on the other side. Fluffy Aimers now slowly creep their way in. Xander completely hit it away, swings out, doesn't necessarily secure 2 kills there, but at least puts in a little bit of damage and scouts things out. Nismo alone in the fight, and just like that, Fluffy Aimers, they close out map number 1 pretty dominantly.
With a great final round, too. That play from Pancakes and Jonah towards elbow to bait out Koala and get the first. And then in the post plant, we watched Bones on that flank just biding his time, playing patiently, just keeping Nismo's attention while the rest of the team flood in together. What a great map from them. I mean, this Fluffy Aimers team just looks so high level, so much better than they were in stage 1. You have to give credit to Jonah, Bones, the 2 new players on the team for sure. Both of them were great on that map.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things too, especially too with the role swaps that you mentioned, I've really liked seeing Mame now playing that Omen. Quite frankly, Fluffy Aimers, if you're facing them, you might want to reconsider choosing Sunset because they look so good on it. Now, we're going to be throwing to a quick break, but when we come back, will it happen again? M80 looking for that first win, just escaping them. We'll find out just after this.